Welcome to another edition of Diplomatic Channel. I'm Amarachi Ubani. This week in our review of ECOWAS at 50, we'll be hearing from the only surviving founder of the community, General Yakubu Gowon, as he speaks on his experience and the way forward for the organization. Plus, our exclusive interview with one diasporan who has returned to Nigeria, gone into politics, and is changing the narrative in his village in Abia State. Honorable Enyinnaya Nwosu, the Deputy Mayor of Umuahia South Local Government Area, will be joining us on the program. That's Diplomatic Channel in a wrap. You know what comes next. A look at those diplomatic headlines, and we'll be right back. The drone strikes from Ukraine reportedly destroyed more than 40 Russian bomber planes. The Irkutsk governor says they were launched from trucks. Russia has confirmed the attacks, calling it a terrorist attack, which happened in the regions of Murmansk, Irkutsk, Ivanovo, Ryazan and Amur, but claims they were all repelled. But the drones reportedly hit 41 bombers stationed at several airfields. Russia already has in its custody the driver of a truck believed to have been involved in the drone attack. He'll be questioned by police. The attacks come on the same day a Russian drone struck the Ukrainian city of Zaporizhia early Sunday morning. One 74-year-old woman was injured during the attack. These attacks come on the eve of a second round of direct talks between Ukrainian and Russian officials, scheduled to hold in Istanbul, Turkey on Monday.
How are you? Thank you. How are you? Good.
On Sunday, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky listed Ukraine's positions for talks that included a complete and unconditional ceasefire, the release of prisoners, and the return of abducted children.
Уважаемые коллеги, добрый день.
Russia so far has rejected calls for an unconditional ceasefire and repeatedly made demands that have already been rejected by Ukraine.
Another example of judicial overreach.
Back to Sunday's strikes, the White House says the U.S. was not warned about the strikes from Ukraine. Neither was the Trump administration informed of Ukraine's large-scale drone attack.
Візит в Україну міністра закордонних справ.
The Ukrainian Security Service says the attacks on Russian airfields destroyed 34% of Russia's strategic bombers, capable of carrying cruise missiles. In a post on social media, the SBU says its Operation Spider's Web cost Russia $7 billion. On Wednesday, May 28th, the Economic Community of West African States, ECOWAS, turned 50. Of course, celebrations had started weeks before, but on that day was a reenactment of the signing of the Lagos Treaty at the Nigerian Institute of International Affairs, the NIIA. Only one person in the room was from the original 15 heads of state and government who signed the treaty back in 1975. Back then, the heads of state were from Nigeria, Niger, Benin, Burkina Faso, Cote d'Ivoire, the Gambia, Ghana, Guinea, Guinea-Bissau, Liberia, Mali, Mauritania, Sierra Leone, Senegal, and Togo. Former Nigerian head of state, General Yakubu Gowon, was the only one who returned for the reenactment on Wednesday. He's the only one alive. Leaders of all of these other countries were also present, save for Mauritania, which withdrew its membership in December of 2000. During the celebration after, General Gowon relieved the experience at the time and gave some sound advice to the current and future leaders of ECOWAS.
Belief in democracy is what I'm now advising all members of ECOWAS in the countries. We must not let these setbacks define us. Rather, let them awaken us to the urgent need to recommit to the core principles of good governance: economic cooperation, solidarity, and inclusivity, Let us remember that ECOWAS is not an institution for the leaders of our region alone, but a community for the people, for the farmer in Bissau, the trader in Cotonou and in Nigeria, the students in Freetown or in all parts of our region.
Many Nigerians who have settled abroad have returned to the country, some to restart their lives. For others, it is to provide some sort of support for the rest of the family abroad, and for others, going abroad was never a plan A. One of those people is whom I'll be speaking to shortly. He is known as Honorable Barrister Enyinnaya Nwosu, the Deputy Mayor of Umuahia South Local Government Area of Abia State. He is also a former presidential aspirant. He says going abroad was never a plan A for him, it was always a plan B. And while he spent many years overseas, his dream has always been to come home to serve. He joins us now from Olokoro in Umuahia in Abia State. Honorable Nwosu, thank you for joining us on the program today.
You're welcome. Thank you very much. It's always good to be with you guys. Thank you.
And can I say that we have sort of been following your journey? You've been a guest on Channels Television before, I believe on The World Today, and I believe I was even the one who even interviewed you. This was during the pandemic, the COVID pandemic. I believe you were in Canada then. Fill in the gap for us, if you will, how you moved from Canada and now you're in Nigeria.
Yes, like I've always said, for me, my plan A has always been to live in Nigeria. We are part of the people who traveled abroad to seek for more knowledge and to get everything we can and then bring it home. And that's what we have done. I've been outside for about 15 years. Set up my businesses. I own a hospital with my wife. I also run my private practice, and but I didn't really feel fulfilled, and that's because I wanted to be here at home. I wanted to be with my people. I want to be, provide service for my people. Bring all the things that I've learned or gathered abroad and bring it home, and that's what I've done now.
What was the moment that you decided you wanted to get involved in Nigerian politics? Because most people who come back home, they either just want to set up their own private businesses, or they just want to go into, their own, do something else, get a private practice or something. But you specifically came home to go into politics. When did you make that decision?
Yeah, I've always wanted to come. If you remember, in 2019, I ran for the office of the president. We're not lucky with that, and I now try to get involved in the Abia State politics from Diaspora. But if you follow the government of Abia State, you see that what the governor, Dr. Aleswiti, has done in Abia State now is to create an enabling environment, a very wonderful environment for people to actually come back and get something on merit.
For many who decide to return, I mean, it's like they do still have a link, to their former life, but this is their reality, and then they intend to just stay for a few years, ride it out, and then go back. Do you have any such plans?
No. My family is still in Canada. They visit. It's not been long. They just left. They came to visit, and I don't think I've just come to go back. Rather, I've come to help build this place, and when I build it, then it will be fit for everybody to come back. And again, because of the wonderful things Dr. Alex, the governor in Abia State, is doing, a lot of people are beginning to come home from abroad to even set up their businesses here. I have a couple of friends and associates who have actually returned. And since we came back, I've also been getting a lot of calls like, I want to come and do this here. I want to come and set up this. The environment is conducive now, business wise. You see what is happening in Aba, and you look at what is happening in Umuahia. It's a good thing the governor is doing, and as I said, we are cashing in his goodwill, and I believe that by 2027 election, you will have more people from diaspora who will be seeking election because of the political environment that Dallas has created. Um, the security here in Abia State is wonderful now, um, which is unlike what we used to have in past governments and all that. But now the security is good here in Abia State. People are free. People are walking about. Even for nightlife, people are also having a bit of fun, and businesses are thriving. So with such an environment, it's easy for somebody living abroad to come home to establish. And so, to answer your question, I don't plan to go back because we are building a state that will bring people back.
Let's talk more about this dream that you have for Abia State and for Nigeria. And I know you already have, some work, going on the ground. Talk to us about what you're doing, how to make things different. For example, Abia State, I believe, is the only state in Nigeria that has local government chairmen being called mayors. That's something that's only reminiscent of, systems abroad. Why the change in the nomenclature?
Well, like I said, Dr. Alex Oti, as the governor, he made that decision. I wouldn't know his reason, but I would think that's his way of bringing that difference. We're bringing a different way of government. The local government, we are the bedrock of the politics. We are the grassroots. We represent the governor at the local government level. In Umuahia South, we have about 10 wards, and we, after the election, after our first 100 days in office, we now went back to have town hall meetings to ask the people exactly what they wanted, and then interact with them, engage with them, because governance is not about sitting in your office. It's about reaching out to the people to know exactly what they want. Some communities want roof, some other communities want water. So if you don't engage with these communities, you probably provide a service or structure that they already have or they don't need, or that is not their priority at the moment. So we're engaging with the community. My chairman, that's my principal, who is the mayor, Engineer Philip Chinedu. It's a wonderful guy, and the partnership I have with him, it's almost seamless, So what we're doing is reaching out to the people. So whatever service we provide for the people, or whatever we provide for the school renovation, or grading of the roads, or lock-up stores, or small mini markets that we're building, it's tailored. It's purpose built. We're bringing what the people need. As against a government just saying borehole, you're drilling borehole for all the communities. No, we're not doing that. So we're really giving the people what each community needs. Yeah.
I know that many Nigerians have returned home. Here in the country, we call it Jakpada, those who went out and then came back. But I see this running theme amongst them, when they talk about their experience coming back home, the lack of electricity supply, no internet or poor internet in some places, conducive business environment, and they say Nigeria is not for the faint-hearted. What were some of the initial challenges that you went through when you returned?
Well, electricity is still a problem, but thank God, technology, the solar system is beginning to reduce the challenge of electricity to, I think, most houses. I live here in the village. Every night, I see that almost all the houses in the village, they have some form of light, from solar or from rechargeable, or few people still use generators. Um, Fuel is expensive, no doubt, but there is the way I look at it personally. I look at the satisfaction I get, so I balance it. I live in my village with all the trees and the little garden I've been able to develop here in my compound, So my friends can actually come to my house now, and we get fish from my pond, and then get vegetable from my farm, and or we can get chicken from the little poultry I'm doing as well, And it's wonderful. I'm enjoying home. The only thing is that I'm missing my family, so I talk to them every now and then, and because of time zone, I have to wake up at particular time to be able to talk with them and monitor what they're doing in school and all that. But the important thing is that they understand that I'm making this sacrifice for their country, Nigeria. My son he visited, and he said something that really touched me. He said, "Daddy, so you are the mayor now?" I said, "Yes, I'm the deputy mayor." And he said, "Oh, that means you are the government." I said, "Yes." He said, "Oh, you need to fix your road, because the road is bad, But so they understand that I'm doing this for the future, and my kids, I want them to be part of this community. And what I've come to do is to help build the country, build the state, build my community, so that they'll come back to a better place. And I think it's the responsibility of everyone that have traveled abroad to bring whatever good you think you have seen outside, to bring it back home here, and help build the place. And a lot of people are beginning to do that. By 2027, many other people living abroad will be coming back to participate fully in politics, as against doing it in diaspora. Yeah.
Well, I'd say you're adjusting pretty nicely. You haven't complained once about the heat, and I see that you're sweating even during the interview.
Yes,
But
yes, yes.
you're living such an organic life, in the village. And I just wanted to ask, initially when you had this idea of returning home finally, what did your family make of it?
Um, I should have been back, before now, but we had to wait because uh, we we run a very united family, me and my wife, lovely wife, and the kids. So we discussed it, and we said, okay, we will wait for the kids to grow up a little bit before I can uh, go, because kids need both parents around, for proper upbringing. And we agreed that we're going to run two houses. That's how we're looking at it. So they come to Nigeria, and I go. So summer they are going to come here. My family is going to come spend the summer holidays here in Nigeria. I want them to spend it here in the village, and you know, they like it here. Whenever they are back here in the village, they feel alive. You see that They are relating to cousins, the village people. Like I like to have them get the feel of the village as against when they come, you keep them in Abuja and all that. Because what we're doing is to give them that option. And because some people abroad, they didn't have that option. So they don't know what is good about Nigeria. They just believe in what they read or what they see on the TV. So I'm training my kids in the way that they come home and they appreciate. And I hope that when they grow up, they might decide to live here as well as their home. Yeah.
Well, it's great
But
that
for
they're
the
not.
heat, yes, we are the heat is here. It's same thing. The way I see the heat here is the way I will also see the cold back in Canada. So there's something at some place. So here is the heat, in Canada is the cold. So like I said, there are challenges everywhere. You just choose the better place to live, and I think home is better.
Yeah, indeed. I've heard that those Canada winters are not to be played with. But it's a great thing that
Yeah.
your children don't see Nigeria as a fantasy, as most people do. Let's talk about the Nigeria First policy and your interpretation of it. It's a recent policy, I believe, announced by the Nigerian Diaspora Commission chairman, Abike Erewa. And it talks about, putting Nigeria first, representing the country. What does it mean to you?
Wherever I go to, the first thing you know is that there are two things you must know if you meet me. Number one is that I'm married. Number two is that I'm a Nigerian. I carry those two responsibilities everywhere I go, and people see. Um, Being abroad, there are a lot of things uh, the Western world don't know about Nigeria or Africa. So when they say Nigeria, that we have some bad people, I say no. We have a greater population, and they should be looking more at what Nigerians are doing abroad. When you go to hospitals, certainly there's no hospital you see in Canada that is not being run by Nigerians, doctors, nurses, health practitioners and all that. And Nigerians are setting up businesses abroad, employing labor. I know how many people that are employed in my wife's hospital. And so we project, we need to project Nigeria, positively. And so I'm not part of those people that believe that Nigeria is a bad country or that we have bad people abroad. No, Nigerians abroad, they work very hard. They work. Some families don't get to see it because they are working, and you know, again, how to say, Nigeria, we don't have a benefit system.
Right.
So the government doesn't have a benefit system. The benefit system we run here is the rich taking care of the poor. And Nigerians in diaspora remit money every day, to take care of uh, families and friends down here. And you can't send that money back home here if you're not working very hard. And so we also ask that because they send money home here, they have influence. And that's why we're inviting a lot of Nigerians in diaspora to get involved in politics. Because if you send money home, you should also be able to talk to the people you send them and say, this is a good government, you need to support somebody like Dr. Alex Oti, who is doing a wonderful job in the state. So if when I was abroad, I used to send money home, and I also tell people, look, I've looked at this man, he would do a good job. I've looked at this person, he would do a good job. Vote for him as against this person. And yeah, so we encourage people to come into politics from diaspora, and also businesses, which they are doing now.
Yes, if more people who think like you participate in politics, things, of course, will be a lot better. Honorable Enyinnaya Nwosu, thank you for speaking with us.
It's always my pleasure, and thank you very much for your time as well. God bless.
That's it on the program this week. Thank you for watching. We want to hear from Nigerians who live outside of the country and who plan to return, this time for good. You can reach me on any of the addresses showing on your screen. I'm Amarachi Ubani. See you next time.